Welcome back, Sunday Society, to another episode of Taking Back Sunday.
Hello, hello.
Today, we are going to ask, why is it that when a friend or family member is dating someone we don't like, we tend to keep that to ourselves until after they break up?
Yeah.
And then they break up and you're like, yeah, I didn't really like that person.
So many red flags.
So many red flags. And you're like, excuse me, why are you just now telling me this?
Yep.
So
there's a reason.
There's just that's just a scratch on the surface of the hard truths that we keep from the ones we love the most. So grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's take back Sunday. Hannah.
Yes.
What is a hard truth that you have had to accept recently?
Ooh, goodness. Okay. So that I know that I can have self-control because I've been clean for almost 4 years. But I really struggle with my relationship with food. And that is also an addiction.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I really struggle with it. And I use it in ways that it really isn't meant for. Food is, a survival. It's something that we need to nourish our bodies. And I have always been like, food's an experience.
Yeah.
And it's the foodie in me. And so just realizing that I have my addiction kind of plays out in other ways in my life, and just trying to really, with this new kind of journey that I'm on, just trying to really recognize those patterns and try to fix them.
Yeah. That is a hard truth.
And then I actually have two.
Oh, okay. What's the other one?
So I feel like there's kind of a pattern of having people like leave like my like a relationship with me, or the way that they treat me like I don't matter. And so it really messes with my self-worth, and I start to really struggle with that. And I realize that I just give way too much of myself to people who are not giving back. And I'm filling other people's cups, and my cup's always empty. And that is a toxic trait that I have, that I put in so much for people that do not put back into me. And so just trying to recognize that as well and fix that within myself, and like why I am that way.
Well, that's definite. I feel like I also struggle with like food addiction, and my relationship with food looks very different now than it did a year ago. And a hard truth that I had to accept recently was that I can do everything right and it still won't be enough. And that's okay. That you will never be enough for somebody who doesn't want you to be enough. That's just kind of where I am with that. And that's kind of a truth that I knew and I ignored it. Like, it's that little voice in the back of your head telling you, like, you shouldn't eat that third helping of macaroni and cheese, but it's so delicious. So you do it anyway. And it's like, maybe I'm addicted to a feeling like the dopamine hit that you get when you're around people, like certain people. So you ignore all the red flags, Yeah. Being in that environment made me feel needed. And I liked that. And I ignored all of the other negative aspects that went in with that. And it's a hard truth that he's just not that into you type thing. And like, it's just not going to work. And that you just have to be okay with that.
Like he was into what you did that benefited him.
Yes. The things that I could provide, and not me just being me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's hard.
Yeah.
That required therapy. So,
and I, again, think that kind of is similar to mine about pouring all of you into someone else's cup, and then they never pouring back and leaving you very empty.
Yep. They don't reciprocate it. So how this episode I thought would be fun, but because warning, this is not going to be a fun episode. These are hard truths. These are things that but you don't want to accept about yourself. And these are things that about your friends that you don't want to tell them. But we're going to talk about what some of like, common hard truths are, common things that you should have to accept, and then how you can have that conversation with someone that you love and tell them hard truths without it ruining your relationship with that person. Because we talked about this in our mindset episode. You can have conflict and it doesn't have to result in an explosion. Like you can have productive conflict, you can have hard conversations that don't turn out to be detrimental.
Yes.
So I thought it would be important just because we are at that age where we're kind of done with the BS in our lives. And it's time I'm going to love you enough to tell you this hard truth, or I'm going to let you go. Because if I don't love you, I'm not telling you the problems that I want to work through, you know? So first hard truth is that you are the common denominator. Like the accountability episode that we did. Am I the problem?
Yes.
That's a hard one because it's like, I don't want to accept that I'm the reason that these relationship dynamics keep repeating themselves. Like I'm falling into the same patterns with the same types of men who only want, their version of what a relationship looks like. I have to ask myself, why is it that all of these men that are talking to me only want this specific type of setup? Like, am I the problem? Like, am I doing something that that whatever opens that conversation up? Are the same patterns happening around you? Are you dealing with the same career frustrations? Like, is it every job you're in, this is the exact same thing that happens? Is it something that I need to recognize in myself? And friendships that always end the same way. Like we know somebody in our very far past who was not able to maintain relationships. And it did seem like there was always a story about, oh yeah, that person used to be my friend, but not anymore. And they're this and they're that. For me, when people tell me that, like, yeah, I just don't have a lot of friends or a lot of girlfriends, that's a red flag for me. And yeah, some people like you and me, we don't have a lot of friends, but we do have good friends in our lives that we can talk about.
Small.
But like, if you tell me like the first time we meet, like, yeah, girls just don't like me, I'm like, I won't like you. Yeah.
Although I do feel like it's easier to have friendships with males because they just are like low maintenance.
They just don't care.
Yeah. They don't. They're not gonna think and analyze a text message.
No, they're not. They're very easy to be friends with because.
But yeah,
they don't.
like if you tell me you don't get along with females, I'm like, yeah, that tells me all I need to know.
Yeah, if you have not one close friend that you can identify, it's kind of a it's just a warning. Maybe a yellow flag at first, just like a yellow flag.
We all know the girls.
They
only like hanging out with men. They're not good friends with females. They are
pick-me's.
The pick-me's, or the I'm gonna steal your man girl, or I'm gonna cross lines girl. With we all know those.
Yep.
And that's what that throws for me.
Yeah. Those your guard goes up a little bit,
or you're just not
a nice person. Just a see you next Tuesday. Second hard truth is that not everyone is meant to stay, and that is the hardest truth to face in adulthood because. As when you go through high school, you've got your core group of friends, you go out into the world, you guys go off on your separate roads or whatever, but you're always there. And then when you get older and you mature and your views change and your lives take very different directions, you realize sometimes that those people, they're not meant for you anymore. And it's hard sometimes to let that go. And that is not just, specific to like friendships, that's relationships too. I mean, I'll read at the very end, there's a beautiful like metaphor that I heard in college one time and I was just like, this is perfect. So people are seasonal is essentially the theme of that, is that sometimes people are meant for a season. They're just meant to, kind of how I frame it in my mind is I've gotten everything that I can get from you and from this friendship, and we no longer give to each other anymore. So it's time, it's time to go. It's time to part. Because you can outgrow a friendship. Love also doesn't guarantee alignment. And that hurt because that one hurt. and we've talked about this before with the episode with Autumn, like grieving people that are still alive. Like you have, like when you go no contact with family or people that you thought would be in your life for the rest of your life, you know, how do you do that without villainizing them? And then it's just that, you know, I have this fear of being alone versus the peace of like being aligned with somebody. I can't choose to be with somebody that I'm not aligned with because I don't want to be alone. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Another one, and I think that this one might ring true or maybe might resonate with you a little more, is that you can't heal in the same environment that broke you. I don't know if you want to speak to that at all about like getting sober. You know, you can't get sober in the same environment
Yeah.
that made you an addict or like
Yeah.
whatever encouraged it.
Having to set boundaries and to remove yourself from places and people and things, and kind of create new loops,
Yeah.
is super important.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that I can go to a bar and have dinner and see people drinking and doesn't bother me at all, is awesome.
Yeah.
It doesn't cause some kind of internal conflict. In those times, I could not have sat at a bar and been sober, or I was having the worst time of my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you, even if it's not even a physical environment,
Yeah.
there has to be change. You cannot, people say all the time, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And that is exactly true. And I cannot do the same thing and expect for me to be healthy.
Yeah.
Sometimes that means for some people you lose friends. Sometimes that means you lose family. Sometimes that means you lose like a spouse or a partner. And sometimes it means that you don't allow yourself situations that could create problems. There are situations that I in my addiction I was involved in that I do not allow myself to be in that situation any longer. I don't know if I would have the same reaction whether I was drinking or not, but I don't feel like it's
not worth finding out.
Not worth finding out.
Yeah. And I feel like this hard truth that you can't heal where, you know, in the same environment that broke you, I hear that a lot with recovering addicts because I feel like when you, and not even with alcoholics, but more the drug addiction, when you run with the same people that you've always been around who are doing the same things, it's hard to break that cycle when you just continuously put yourself in it.
Yeah.
So
I had like a group of 10 people that I ran with at the bar.
Yeah, that is true.
That I just really, I mean, I didn't like go no contact or anything, but I definitely didn't spend time with them there or outside of there. One of them I do now. It's a little bit different of a situation. And but other than that, I don't. And part of that is because it is not good for me. And they were not really friends. They were more like acquaintances. They were people that you had a similar hobby with that you met up with.
Sure.
They weren't, I call you at 3:00 in the morning because I'm having the hardest time and I'm in a really low place and I need something kind of people. But also there's just this like, I don't know, like you just find yourself attracted to different people and different things when you go through a change like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say, speaking of this, I will say when I worked for the state of Missouri, we would take kids who were, unlawful, missing school, all the things, and we would take them and we would put them in a treatment program in a secure facility, and they would be there 6-9 months, sometimes a year. Oof. And we would work with them on, they would go to school, but they would do like little exercises that got deep down into like what's going on with them. We had people that they would talk to, and they would meet with, adults that they would speak with that were professional, counselors and different things.
Mhm.
And then we took them and we moved them right back to that home that they came from. And what I seen in my experience is that we put them right back into that environment that they came from when they were broken.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it wasn't successful for some, but I don't think the success rate is high because we didn't fix anything at home.
I was going to say, yeah, you can only do so much when
Yeah.
you put them back in the same place,
Mhm.
around all the same routines, all the same people, all the same
Mom,
habits.
dad, siblings, friends, school, it's all the same.
Yeah.
And so we've done these fixings on them, but the other things that probably contributed to the problem didn't get fixed.
Yeah. And because they're kids, they don't have a choice. Like they can't say, I'm moving out, they don't have that kind of freedom.
So that was really hard to watch.
Yeah. Ugh, I bet. Because you work with them. You work so hard to help. And then, yeah.
It was a lot of times I wanted to shake the parents. Like, what are you doing?
I know. Ugh, I can't even imagine. I think this next hard truth kind of applies to you too. I'm so sorry, but you can't be liked by everyone. And I think that you're not necessarily as much of a people pleaser as you have been in the past. You are working on that. Yeah. But I think you really just want to do right by everybody. And it in turn is just at some point, it's just got to be like, dude, do you? Like, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I liked this. It says people pleasing is self-abandonment. Yeah. So like when all you're doing is trying to please other people, you could potentially be abandoning yourself. Yeah. And if you're for everyone, you're not really for yourself.
Well, and I think like having people like you that know pretty much every fiber of my being. Like, I don't really think there's anything that you don't know about me to be like, screw them or whatever. Like this is, yeah. It's like, okay, it's not just a me. Like, it's okay for me to be like, yeah, you don't have to like me. It's fine. I am okay with being who I am. I think that sometimes people don't have people in their corner being like, who cares?
Yeah. Like their opinion means nothing. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to not like people, and it's okay for people to not like you. Yeah. 100%.
Because, and I'll be honest, I kind of go hard on myself when I don't like somebody. Like, what is wrong with you, girl? Like, you need to give them a chance, or you need to, and sometimes there's just like a discernment in me that's like, nope.
That is that vibration telling you, do not.
They are bad.
Yes.
They are bad.
Yep.
Stay away. And there are people that I just am like, I'll make, I'll say hi or hello or whatever. I'll acknowledge your existence. But beyond that, I don't have the time and I don't have the energy to be fake. So I'm not going to try to be your friend, and I don't like you.
And you don't owe it to anybody.
Yeah.
To be their friend, to be honest. And I know that's kind of a controversial thing because like, yeah, you should be nice to people, blah, 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 blah. But like at the end of the day, yeah, I don't have to like you. And honestly, Hannah, we don't have to be polite to people. We don't owe people anything. If people don't give me a reason, I'm not going to go out of my way to be nice to people. I say that, and I am. I do go out of my way. Like I'm am genuinely
saying, like, if
nice.
Somebody that I don't care for passes me and says hello, I'm okay with being like, oh, hi. And that's it, except for last weekend. Because I was like, nope.
Yeah. See,
no, we can cut that out.
Yeah, that's fine. I am very much okay if somebody tries to speak to me in public that I don't like, and like knowingly, like we don't get along. Like, why are you acknowledging me right now?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? Like, leave me alone.
And then there are people that know you and don't acknowledge you in public. Sit right behind you. Don't say anything.
Those are fun.
Wild.
Those are fun people. Not everybody. What was that? What was that? Not everybody's meant to stay.
Yeah.
You can't be like, and you know what? Maybe I am the problem. But yeah, no, there's not really a lot of people that I don't like though.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't really apply to very many people in this area.
And I guess maybe I'm not saying so much don't like, but like just people that you're like,
they give you the ick,
or you're just like, I don't really care to like have a deeper like communication.
I'm cool being just at face value.
So I can say hi to you and I can move on, but like, I don't need to talk to you about my day. I don't need to talk to you about what's going on in my life. It doesn't, we're not going there.
Yeah.
You know?
We're not going there. Pump the brakes, baby. We ain't friends. We acquaintances.
Could you believe it if I had to be like, we're not friends?
Oof.
We are not friends. Let me be clear.
Hard truth number 5. We are not friends.
I literally had to tell my staff at the last meeting, I don't want you to confuse my kindness for friendliness. I'm not your friend.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you're their boss.
Yeah.
You're the
And
leader of that
because
building.
I am so friendly and I'm a caring and compassionate person, I feel like sometimes people take that and they're like, oh, well, she's no,
Yeah.
honey.
Shut it
I'm
down.
not your friend. I
No.
am your boss and I run this place and I
Yeah.
have a job to do.
Yeah. Who
And
run
at
the
the end of
world?
the day, if you're in the way of something being done right, then there's going to be a consequence, you know?
Yeah.
So
It's like parents and their kids.
Yeah.
Like your kids get older and they're like, oh, we're friends. And you're like, ooh, you just said something crazy.
skirt.
Yeah.
Corbin Blaine.
Swerve. Exactly. Brinley Taylor.
Yeah. Corbin, it's like sometimes I'm like, oh, he's too comfortable. I love that he is
Yeah.
so comfortable, but I'm like, oh, we're a little too comfortable.
Yeah. There's a little too much.
Yeah.
Okay. This last part.
Don't tell your friends.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't tell me.
I don't need to know.
Yeah.
I don't need to know. These are just other common hard truths. We're not going to dig into them. We're just going to do rapid fire. Closure doesn't always come. Some apologies never happen.
Amen.
Growth costs relationships. You teach people how to treat you. Amen. Clock it. Avoidance is still a choice. Woo! You can be right and still lose. That's one that I have to take on the chin a lot because, I'm always right. Just kidding. Your timeline might not match your plan.
Oh, yeah.
That one hurt. And yes, it resonates. And then some dreams will change.
Yep.
So now that we know some of those hard truths, how do we have those conversations with our friends without losing them? Because that's important. And I think the first thing you need to do is check your motives. Like, what is your intention for wanting to tell them this hard truth? Like, oh, your breath stank. That ain't a hard truth. That's just a hygiene tip.
It could be for some people a hard conversation.
It could be. That is such an awkward conversation, though.
Like your breath stank.
Yeah. So
you need a mint. You just go buy them lots of gum.
a meal. Anyway, so before you say anything to them, you need to ask yourself, am I trying to help or am I trying to prove that I'm right? And that's something I have to ask myself because being right has always been kind of my motivator my entire life. Like
It's one of the truest things you've ever said on this show, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you for being honest.
Listen, I'm self-aware. I don't know how to make it stop, but I'm self-aware. And I
know I'm an a-hole.
I do know. I know that I'm insufferable.
She's my best friend. Don't talk about her.
That's right. But no, I that's something that I have to check myself. Yeah. Like, is this going to help anything? Or am I just trying to prove that I'm right and they're wrong? Am I triggered by this? Like, are they doing something that is
triggering,
bringing something out in me that I need to work through?
Yeah.
And is this about,
it's not a them problem. It's actually
exactly. Is it something I need to own?
Yeah.
And then it's similar to that. Is this about, am I telling them for their own growth or is it about my discomfort? Like if I'm going to use you as an example, like are you doing something that I need to talk to you about so that you can grow and be better? Or is what you're doing making me uncomfortable? There's a difference. Like if it's not hurting anybody, but it's just making me feel uncomfortable, it could also be something that I need to check in myself.
So like in the car, when you think it's too hot, is that making you uncomfortable?
Yes. And I turned the heat down.
I'm just kidding. But I kind of thought about this and I put in a little note, but I also think it's important that not every opinion needs to be voiced.
Yeah.
So will this matter in 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Is this a preference or a principle? Which I definitely feel like is this a me thing or is this a boundary to enforce? Is it my boundary to enforce or their lesson to learn? I think those are really, really important because we're going to talk about motivation, but if I said something to you today that I felt so strongly about, is it going to affect you or me in the next 5 years? If no, it might not need to be said.
And I have had that exact conversation with my mom probably like 10 years ago. It was things, I think my brothers did something crazy. And I was like, Mom, I don't think that this issue is not going to matter in 5 years. I'm not going to give it 5 minutes of my time
I,
because it's not worth it.
and yeah, and sometimes it is worth it. And sometimes you can,
Yes.
your feelings do matter. Your feelings can be valid, but like, is this something that if I have a feeling or an opinion and I share it, is that going to negatively impact my relationship with somebody? If so, is it worth it?
Yeah, you have to ask yourself too, like, and this is kind of,
Like if, for example, if you said to me, which you wouldn't because we're each other's best friends and you love me and I love you, but if you said to me, Hannah, I'm allergic to cats. I can't come to your home because I'm allergic to cats. I would be devastated. I'd be like,
yeah.
I have to pick between Bianca and my cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It would devastate me and it would last a long time.
Yeah.
And you would have this big boundary that I didn't know what to do with.
Yeah.
But you do come.
I'll say I am allergic to cats and I love them because I don't care. I'm like, I'll take a Benadryl later. It's fine.
It could have went a different way of, oh, if you get cats, I can't come here.
Yeah.
We actually have a friend that has said that before. And I'm like, okay, well, see you sometime later.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Yikes. So sorry.
But, and that's a silly thing, but it's one of those things like, that's like, how am I going to argue that you're not allergic to cats?
My biggest fear is that if I ever have a kid, that they'll be allergic to dogs. I'll be like, I can't do this. I got to give the kid back.
Yeah. How do you just give it to me?
Yeah, exactly.
No, actually, I'm working my way out of the simple animals as soon as all of these animals have lived their best life.
Yeah, your daughter has already filled me in on what you think you're going to get when all the animals are
Baby
gone.
forever.
Ew. You really want to be changing that diaper?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. I guess I do need to go talk to that fertility doctor soon. Okay. So a hard truth, if you wouldn't say it with them in the room, don't say it about them out of the room. So address it with them or don't address it at all, kind of thing. Which that is hard because sometimes we need to vent and venting is fine. I think there's a difference between venting about an issue and just like continuously talking about the same thing with someone about someone. We talk about this all the time that triangles are terrible.
Yes.
Break the triangle. So the second thing here is you need to make sure that you've earned the right. Are you, because not every truth is yours to give.
Yeah.
Have we built enough trust with one another? Have they invited that feedback? Do they want to know my opinion? And is it am I someone that they feel safe with? And that's where you have to analyze like what kind of friendship you have with that person. Are you close enough that it's your job to tell them? And sometimes it's not.
The way that we talk to each other and give each other advice, I would never give certain people advice like that.
Nope.
Yeah.
Never.
I would be like, are you wanting me to offer a support or help or advice?
How do you want me to address this?
I'm just like, listen.
Pull up a chair.
Yeah, and we're going to just talk it through. And we both know each other so well that we know each other's motives. We know each other's place. And typically we're on each other's sides about everything, because that's just how you are with your bestie. But there are times where we aren't. And we do give hard truths, but we always do it in a way that I feel like is pretty like that it's coming
respectful.
From love. It's respectful and that it's more of a concern. Like, hey, I want to talk to you about this. I'm a little concerned or I felt this way and I just want to come get some clarity, which again, we talked about in effective communication is that clarity piece really does open a door where there's not defensiveness because I'm just asking for clarity.
Yeah. I had a thought and it has evaporated.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I was just going to say that like one of the examples I put down, and I know you don't have it because I just put it on one, but it's like, I could say to like Brinley, I love you. I noticed da, 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 da. When that happens, I feel da, 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 da. Did you put that down in yours?
Kind of. It's talking about those amazing iMessages.
Yeah. And then just sharing that, like, I'm telling you this because I care about our relationship.
Yeah. And I learned that in therapy too about it's all how you frame the conversations that you have with people. Really is. So if you lead in with love and you make it known that like your intention here is not to shame or to hurt or to blame, but to understand and to grow and to share concern. I mean, it is, we've talked about this, it's disarming.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and another thing that can kind of do that is asking for permission. Like, instead of like, you need to hear this, try like, can I share something that might be hard to hear? And I think I say that to you sometimes. I'm like, I think I need to tell you something that
Yeah,
might
and
not be
then usually
easy.
I'm like, that wasn't hard to hear at all.
No, I know, but I'm like, I don't know, like,
but yeah, no, it might be for some people because they might be more defensive. But for
yeah.
me, I'm like, oh no, yeah, that's
I
fine.
think, yeah, it was the other day in the car. I said, this is going to be hard to hear maybe. And I don't even remember what it was, but I try to, I try to preface before I just drop like hard
Drop the
truths.
bomb.
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
Well, and I feel like inviting it, you ask for permission, you know, invite dialogue and not like a verdict also just kind of helps.
Yeah.
It's like that, like if I do say something, then I'm going to follow it up with like, how does that make you feel? Or how does that, you know, did that, do you feel like that was helpful? Like asking open-ended questions that, you know, give them room to talk about their feelings, because you might be talking about your feelings. Guess what? They also have a right to talk about theirs.
Yeah.
But asking for permission, because yeah, not everybody cares to hear what you think.
Yeah. And it's okay. Like if I said, Hannah, I think I need to tell you something that's going to be hard to hear, you have every right to say, you know what? I don't have the space for that right now.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh shit, is she okay? Like, that would then lead to another conversation where I'd be like, okay, what can I do to help? Or, you know, that type of dialogue. But I do think that kind of prefacing somebody before just dropping something hard on them. Like, for example, you know, I think that you're toxic. Maybe not the best thing to say to somebody.
Yeah. If you said, can I share something with you? And been like, maybe sometimes you have a little bit of toxic traits that rub people the wrong way. And those are, it sounds a lot better than I think you're toxic. It's still hard.
Yeah, no.
It's still hard to hear.
It's funny. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, but it's focus on the patterns and not the character. So you attack the behavior and not the identity. So instead of saying like you're toxic, you could say like, I'm seeing a pattern where you go back to when you feel lonely. Me. You could say that to me because that applies to my life. When I get lonely, I have a pattern and I recognize it. I don't know if I'm ready to break it yet or not. And that's okay. I'll figure it out, but it is not healthy.
And I think that when certain patterns, it's about self-worth.
Yeah, it is. And that's a little bit in the tank, but it's okay. It'll get better. And I think the last tip is to be ready to lose comfort. So the real hard truth is that sometimes telling the truth will change the relationship.
I agree with that 100%. And also, your truth might not be the truth.
Yeah.
So I like to, when I'm having hard conversations, I like to, instead of, if I have feelings about something, instead of saying that is what it is, kind of putting it out there as, is this the way that you meant it? Is this the way? Because it might not have been. I'm accusing at that point.
Well, and that's another good point, is to lead with like an observation instead of that accusation. So like, you, instead of saying like you always do this or you never do this, you know, those big absolutes, you can use those I messages. Like, yeah, I noticed this, I'm worried about, it feels like. So, you know, in the relationship world, like, you're settling versus I've noticed that you don't seem like yourself lately in this relationship. Yeah. So there are ways to not accuse somebody of something.
Yeah. Or I've noticed that your priorities have shifted with this person, you know, just being like, is that, you know, do you see that? Is that something you're comfortable with?
Yeah.
You know, I had somebody who gave me some absolutes, and because of that, instead of asking for clarification or saying observations and then giving me the chance to work through that and talk with them, it felt like there was closure, but not in a good way. It was just like, well, I don't know where to go from here.
Yeah.
And I just was like, this has to be done. And it leaves you feeling like icky, it's like,
Yeah.
how you're like, how do I even stand up for myself or try to combat what you're saying with what truth I have, because there's nothing there. You just gave me, this is the way it is.
Yeah. And that, I mean, that quick fire closure doesn't always come.
Yeah.
And that's something that's really hard. And it's learning to accept an apology that you're never going to get, or learning to move on without the apology. Because there are plenty of things that someone could apologize to me for that I will never get. And I have to know that that is not about me.
Yep.
But avoiding truth to preserve that comfort builds resentment. And that silence will just destroy a friendship. Like if you just allow yourself to not bring those things up, if they are truly like affecting you, just to preserve the comfort, that's not like a true friendship anyway, in my opinion. Yeah. Like, again, there's different levels to friendship. Like, I'm not going to tell the people that I work with at the bar, for example, the same types of hard truths that I'm going to tell you, because our relationships are different. I'm not that person. And there are people that are like that don't care. They know you for 5 minutes and they're like, you know what? I think you make some pretty bad life choices. Let's fix that.
You're like, whoa.
You're like, clutch my pearls.
You just really came for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am not that person. Yeah. I learned the hard way that you don't give out advice to people that you don't fully trust, because if they take your advice and it backfires, now you are the bad guy. Mm-hmm. So I try to be really mindful about who I give advice to and like the type of things I say advice wise. Yes. Or like the truths that I reveal. I'm like,
or we just sit in a public space and talk about things that are super uncomfortable so that people just don't want to be around us.
That's kind of what happens. Yeah. That's why we're a party of two. So there are certain times when it's not appropriate to give a hard truth. If that person's in crisis mode, if you are angry, you should never give a hard truth out of anger. If it's gossip disguised as concern, because that's rude.
Bless her heart.
Bless her soul. Clutch my pearls. And if you haven't addressed your own similar issues.
Ooh, yeah.
Don't be the pot calling
in a glass house.
Yeah, don't be the pot calling the kettle black, okay? Mm-mm. So I mentioned earlier that there was a quote from a play that I saw in college. And this is the biggest hard truth. And this is not the quote, but if your friendship can't survive honesty delivered with love, it was surviving on avoidance. And that's a fragile friendship anyway. So here's the quote from a Medea play. Oh. The plays, not even the movies, the plays, this OG. If somebody wants to walk out of your life, let them go. Some people are meant to come into your life for a lifetime, some for only a season, and you got to know which is which. And you're always messing up when you mix those seasonal people up with lifetime expectations. I put everybody that comes into my life in the category of a tree. Some people are like leaves on a tree. When the wind blows, they're over there. Wind blow that way, they're over there. They're unstable. When the seasons change, they wither and die. They're gone. That's all right. Most people are like that. They're not there to do anything but take from the tree and give shade every now and then. That's all they can do. But don't get mad at people like that. That's who they are. Mm-hmm. That's all they were put on this earth to be, a leaf. Some people are like a branch on that tree. You have to be careful with those branches too, because they'll fool you. They'll make you think you're a good friend and they're real strong, but the minute you step out there on them, they'll break and leave you high and dry. But if you find 2 or 3 people in your life that's like the roots at the bottom of the tree, you are blessed. Those are the kind of people that aren't going nowhere. They aren't worried about being seen. Nobody has to know that they know you. They don't have to know what they're doing for you, but if those roots weren't there, that tree couldn't live. A tree could have 100 million branches, but it only takes a few roots down at the bottom to make sure that tree gets everything it needs. When you get some roots, hold on to them, but for the rest of it, just let it go. Let folks go. So,
and I definitely appreciate that you have given me some major pep talks with that's okay.
Yeah, it is.
And I feel like we've had to each give each other some pep talks about, yep, that's okay.
Yep, this is kind of a a call to action.
That's their pain.
That's their pain to deal with. That's their problem. That's my favorite thing. That's the favorite lesson I learned in therapy, is that how people react to my boundary is their pain to work through. So
especially when they're the cause of that boundary.
Amen. My goodness. My goodness. Take some accountability. So the call to action that I want you guys to think about is, what is one hard truth that you're ready to face? And mine is, the life you want requires letting go of the one that's comfortable.
Ooh.
And I know everybody knows that I love me a comfort zone, but that's not where growth happens. So that's that. So Hannah, do you have a hard truth that you're ready to face?
Yeah. That probably just that I am enough. Is that a hard truth?
I don't think so. Because it's not really a hard thing.
It is for me.
Hold on. Pick one of the ones that sounds the most like.
I'm enough.
Not everyone is meant to stay. I think that's a good one for you. Because it's basically that's what you're implying, I think.
I am enough, and not everyone is meant to stay. Yep. And I don't have to be liked by everybody. I'm okay just being me.
Yep. I love it.
Clock it,
or whatever the kids be doing. 6, 7. Oh my God, Brindley would love.
Yeah,
she'd love it.
She'll see us, I'm sure.
Well, guys, I was emotional writing this, researching this. I did not cry recording it, but I did get a little misty-eyed thinking about some of the hard truths that I had to tell myself. So yeah, that's
I think it was great.
Thank you.
And I love that I got to listen the majority of the time.
I know. It was great. It was a great contrast from last week. Just kidding. I love you.
I love you too.
And we'll see you guys next week. The topic of next week is a mystery. We don't even have it written down yet, so we'll all find out together.
All right.
I'm Bianca.
I'm Hannah.
And we are Taking Back Sunday. From Dad. Oh, your phone said
maybe it was a 2% when it went dark. I don't know. I thought it said 5, but I can't see that great.
Oh, it's hot. Ow. Pinched myself. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Don't be sorry.
No, I'm like,
I took the longest time.
I don't know why I'm sorry, but I am.
Leave. Stop and leave.
Stop and leave.
Okay.
Stop and stare. Oh. Not even alcohol. Alcohol. What was that? Alcohol. Okay. Not even.
Alcohol.